Because the sooner I get live, the sooner... I don't want to say the sooner I can stop streaming, but that's kind of what I'm implying. If only because I'm getting started really, really late, in case you couldn't tell. So if I wait much longer to actually go live, then the stream will be like 30 minutes, if even that. So I'll just fiddle around with things live on the go. Okay. I'm gonna apologize in advance for things like if the audio quality is not as great. I didn't feel like setting up the pop filter and my window's open. So we can get the nice pleasant sounds of nature outside in our live stream about, well, nature. Shoot, I didn't even... post it on Discord. Well, now I did. Guess I can get back to town, so we don't have to just sit on a map. Because I really don't want to get a space-time distortion here. There's nothing really left for me to worry about. Live with us. Casual Legends stream that I'm not even sure if it will go longer than an hour. I want to visit this game again, if only because it's been so long. That's good to share on the networks where it's appropriate. Don't need to do it on Blue Sky because I've done it already. Probably don't even need to bother with Twitter because it's not like anyone who's now already following can even see the channel with it being blank, with being private and all that, but why the heck not? Ironically, I'm more interested in doing the Tumblr. Not really interested in doing the tags, but alas. Yeah, I see there's notifications on X, which is unusual for me. Sorry, I'm getting... This is the stream now, me getting sidetracked. Apparently... Oh, this is gonna be a bit of a story to explain. But I just noticed while I was on Tumblr promoting the stream that a little thing that I posted got a bit on the viral end of things. I'm gonna have to look at it later, but it looks like people like the fact I found screenshots of Dawn Jin out in the wild, so I reposted it on my blog, as I think it's called, and apparently people like that. I'm a little too busy streaming to really look into the details, but I think I see either some reposts with text or reposts with hashtags mentioning of like. I'm glad. The one that I noticed the most was the one that said, "I'm glad other people think Mia should have been a little more sarcastic in the Bobby scenes." Because it started out as a general... The initial post that I saw was just a general post talking about Mia not liking Bobby. And I'm not sure if they intentionally knew they were playing Dawn Jin, or... I don't know how you accidentally go through the trouble of patching up a ROM to play Dawn Jin to forget that, but... Hold on, I gotta check up on something. Yeah, of course, the second I walk away, hey Thunderzolts. Welcome. Of course, the stream that I'm all over the places to stream that people actually show up to. But we're rolling with it. If you're cool with just me staring at the pause menu screen, then you're probably prepared for anything that could be thrown our way, assuming that you're not already gone already. Where was I before I got completely sidetracked? Oh yeah, I found some things on Tumblr that were neat. It's a long story short. It's been so long since I've actually touched Dawn Jin, ever since moving on to game development beyond modding. So I kind of was caught off guard by that accidentally taking off again. Then again, my standards are kind of small. Shoot, I forgot I saved right when there was no outbreak, so I guess we're gonna have to reset back and forth. Okay, maybe it was. You know what? To tell you, just let me get set up and we'll figure things out from there. Well, I mean, this could have something that I want. So let's go for it. For anyone who's never been to a stream of Pokemon Legends Arceus here, my general goals are just filling out the seemingly infinite Pokedex field research task and getting a shiny of each of the Hissui Pokemon. Typically when I'm streaming this game, those are the two things I'm working towards. So, considering like how hard it is for me to find Basulin, I'll take any opportunity to come by here. Now, hey Aaron, welcome. I can probably do one soft reset, assuming I can press the right buttons. But yeah, I guess apologies if I'm kind of just all over the place. It's tired. It's late. You know, that kind of gets the point across. It's tired and I'm late. Nah, I'm tired and it's late, but I just really wanted to play this game again, so I decided to boot it up. Especially because I was considering streaming tonight, doing that long-awaited stream of the games that I've been meaning to getting footage of the games I made back in like 2007. But I'll admit, I am kind of going back and forth of if I actually want to live stream that or just record it on my own time. So another 2 weeks of procrastination on whether or not that's going to be a streaming series or not doesn't exactly hurt. And it's been a while. Lately I've only really played this game when recording Game and Chill. And this month's Game and Chill was recorded in Pokemon Fool's Gold, so I didn't really have the opportunity to play this game for that. So here we are now. And by the way, how's it going? I'll take it practically any conversation topics. Yeah, none of the things I'm looking for are here, but I figured it probably wouldn't be too entertaining to just constantly soft reset. Oh, you got Brothership today. That's neat. I'm a little surprised you're just picking it up now, but I've heard good things about it, so better late than never. That reminds me, I kind of need to actually pick up the game again. I don't know. Maybe at this point, maybe I should prioritize going back to Sparks of Hope and actually playing more of that game before I pick up Brothership again. A funny story with that. Kind of ran into a situation where I was playing it for a bit, having a decent amount of good time. Got to the point where you had to choose, just without as little spoilers as possible, I had to choose between Luigi and Peach. And I got choice paralysis so bad that I stopped playing the game and haven't picked it up since. Ah, I see. Got it. Yeah. There are so many video games. It makes sense that not everyone has the time or resources to pick up every single game that comes out as soon as it comes out. So, fair enough. I'm sure there's a handful of games that I haven't even picked up if I just take the time to look in, to think about it. And I kind of get the feeling that there's going to be a handful of games that I'm not going to be able to pick up anytime soon. Especially with the new accounts coming along the way. I don't know if I said this in any sort of video form or not, but I think I'm going to pass on getting the Switch 2, at least on launch. I'm sure I'll get it someday, but I'm not really too keen on either the major first-party games that they're launching with, and more importantly, the Switch 2 comes out the same day as Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, and I'm a little too deep into the Undertale Deltarune community to not dedicate all my time as soon as those games come out, so I can get back to watching videos on them as soon as possible without spoilers. Because, man, like, I'm pretty chill with the bits I've seen of the Deltarune community. But if there's anything they will take any bit and little bit of news and updates they get their hands on and make content out of it instantaneously, if not faster. That's one thing I've learned about the community from the time that I've been there. Yeah, it doesn't help that it comes. Doesn't help you that it comes out a couple weeks before your birthday. Well, I mean, maybe someone will be generous enough to get it for your birthday. That sounds like it could be a fun, exciting gift. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I'm sure things will work out one way or another. I can't believe I just casually caught a... Well, I guess I jumped the gun a little bit saying that I just casually caught an alpha the moment that it spawned. See, maybe I'll get back to the Tumblr story, but as I was trying to reflect my thoughts, I remembered that with the Switch 2, the GameCube stuff is coming out, and why am I even bothering with the... It could be an alpha spawn. I've already dedicated so much time here, I might as well at least finish it off. But yeah, I remembered that the GameCube... Pretty much the only thing with the exclusive to the Switch 2 that I'm excited for at this particular second is, ironically enough, the GameCube NSO. Nothing that's coming out right at launch catches my interest, but I like the fact that Pokemon XD and Coliseum are coming eventually. Man, hopefully not as long as it took for Golden Sun to come to NSO when that got announced. Jeez, where's this last spiel? I'm wasting so much time here. Nah, screw it. It's not like I really actually wanted the Pokemon anyways. GameCube and Bravely Default were the only launch titles you cared about the most. And you can always play it on 3DS as well. Oh, I completely forgot that Bravely Default is technically going to be a launch title for that thing. I guess I wasn't giving the Switch 2 enough credit in of itself. It's one of those games that's like, catches my interest a little bit, yet I never actually got around to playing it. Maybe someday, but it is an RPG, and I'm have to be really into the idea of playing an RPG to really buy and get into an RPG. Just because there's such a time commitment. I like the genre, and yet I feels like I rarely play them. But yeah, which is another thing of like, I don't know, like, it's not like I'd be it's not even worth, as much as I like the fact that XD and Coliseum are coming to GameCube and NSO, I played those games so recently that I don't really think I could really muster playing through them again. It's kind of like a similar sentiment to when Golden Sun came out. It was right in the peak of my ROM hacking days. So I was already playing a lot of Golden Sun while making Dawn and Jin around the time when they came out on NSO. And I just couldn't, especially because I got myself so used to mods to like add in fast travel, and like I don't think I could have really gone back to the vanilla, or at least play through the entire vanilla game. Like the only thing that was offered that made me consider having an NSO exclusive save file was multiplayer, but I never got around to setting up multiplayer play sessions with anyone. So that didn't really pan out the way I wanted. The nice part is that, like, as far as I can tell, they're not going anywhere. So, like, now that I'm kind of more chill and spending my development time towards more original things, maybe I'll actually get around to sitting down and playing Golden Sun and NSO. But probably put all the other games that I haven't played before as a little higher priority. I got really off tangent though, but speaking of Dawn Jin, like, the thing I kind of got caught up in and kind of rolled my tongue over with GameCube or with before starting off the stream. Plus the fact that there's a little fun, feels like I had a little fun hit going on with with Donjin on Tumblr. I didn't get a chance to read it closely because I only noticed it because I was going live. But it caught off the corner of my eye that, like, a couple days ago, I saw Golden Sun related posts, because that's one of the hashtags I actually follow on the site, of someone pointing out funny dialogue exchanges between Mia and Bobby in that particular portion of the game. And I noticed that, like, some of them weren't actually vanilla text. Some of them were little edits I made specifically for Donjin. So seeing that out in the wild was pretty funny in and of itself. But then just earlier today, as I was going live, I saw that, like, that got a little bit of a viral boost just because I reposted it. That's gonna be a fun thing to look more into once I'm actually done streaming. From the little glances I got, though, it seemed like people really had fun with the concept of Mia getting a little more of an opportunity to be sassy. It was a little bit of a risk because I know, like, it's not in her nature, but the two of the dialogues that were in those screen posts were vanilla text, so it's not uncanon for Mia to specifically have sass towards Bobby, and I think it's, like, cornered my interpretation of the character. Like, yeah, she's a pretty general healer trope, but she can get pretty bit sassy if you tick her off too much, because there's those two vanilla exchanges, there's those two scenes where Mia's kind of sarcastic, where Bobby's going, "You need to go, I need your help, I'm ill, go into the deep dark dungeons of a cave and find something for me." And then Mia, just done with his sauce, goes, "Really? We're gonna find a pharmacy in there?" The pharmacy line is in the original Golden Sun, I swear. And then there's, like, one scene from Lumpa Fortress where pretty much after you defeat the toad monster that Bobby unleashes upon you and it falls on them, and just, like, Mia goes, he's asking for help because his monster fell on top of him, and Mia goes, "Oh, I don't know, we're just kids. I don't know if we can actually do that." So they're rare, but there are moments of sass from Mia. But it is not her general character to be sassy, so I understand that was a bit of a risk, regardless of the fact that it's technically not impossible. So I guess it feels good that the little liberties I took ended up being appreciated and not too hated. I guess was the whole point I was trying to get with that whole tangent. And if I actually took the time to read the posts, I would have more to talk about related to that. But I'm just kind of impressed that I had even that much to talk about. So, sorry putting off your saying about NSO. I just tried to say that Golden Sun stuff at the beginning of the stream, so I wanted to get that out there. So far, the only thing removed off NSO was a soccer game that I tried because, yeah, I tried the tennis one, and it was alright. And I think the ironic part was, specifically in that stream, or in that video, I looked at the soccer game for like 2 seconds, and went, nah, that box art looks too ugly, I'm not gonna bother to try it. So, like, if it's anywhere as decent as the tennis game, it's not bad, but it won't be missed. At the same time, maybe I should try out the soccer game to see for myself. And like I can kind of get from what I've heard here and there, it seems like the reasons like the soccer game's going down. Oh, that is going down. Is down. Pardon me. So the big thing was like there was some licensing complications that would have kept it from going further. I forget the exact details, but like, is the long story short from what I recall was that it wasn't completely published by Nintendo, so that's the main reason why it wasn't going down further. I'm not sure if there's anything that would make that game go down sooner than in other third-party games. So there's a little worry that this could possibly happen to other third-party games. GoldenEye, for example, is the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, hey! A natural Basket Legion outbreak. And I mean, the Ground Leaf ones are good too, but I think I definitely have 2 shinies of the Growlithe already. Maybe even 3. I kind of lost count. Point being, though, this is one of the Pokemon that I'm looking for. I should also be checking the trees for Apom, because, like, Apom in Honey Tree is probably going to be the last research in this entire Pokedex I get done, just because of how rare it is to pop out of these trees, and these are the only 2 trees in the entire game where Apoms can spawn out of. It's insane. How, like, technically that would be a requirement for 100%, and yet they make it so hard to do. Then again, I highly doubt few people, if anyone, even bothers 100%ing this game because of how ridiculous some of the Pokedex research tasks are. And I would say, hopefully they'll fix that for ZA, but from what we've seen of ZA since the last time I said that statement, I don't even know if there's going to be a research task involved with Legends ZA. It seems like they're pushing away from this sort of aesthetic that was in Legends Arceus. Wow, I am just not dealing any of this right. Spike Chung. You think, but I remember hearing stories that that whole buyout was not as bad as it seemed. I don't know. I'd have to pull up the actual videos I watched again to recall and state the full details. But I do know that like it was scary times when that news first broke out because of just the type of relationship Spike Sun and Nintendo have. Also, why can't I find these satchels? I only stopped by here for the satchels, and they didn't seem so far away. And yet I'm just not finding anything. I don't know. I gotta be careful when talking about buyouts, because talking about buying and selling stocks in itself isn't political, but I do have opinions that kind of make it get political quickly. So I'll say I agree that it's a good thing that it didn't end up being nearly as bad as it sounded like it was gonna be. We're just in a weird time in general. It also doesn't help that, like, I've gone through some stuff in work that was kind of scary. So I kind of take it a little more... That stuff ends up ringing a little more personal to me than it might normally see. And I thought you were shaking, little tree. I don't know if it's really even worth going for these Burmies, because I did actually get a shiny Burmy in this game already. Man, I wish I could remember what moves I need to do for the Pokedex. I'm assuming the way I try to arrange my Pokemon when I'm specifically doing field research is to try to prioritize the moves. Can you get on a Basket Legion? There we go. Now can I save? There we go. Yeah, I try to prioritize moves I need to do for the Pokedex on the top of my Pokemon's moves, so that even if I forget, I just mash the top, and 9 times out of 10 I'm making research progress. Yeah, I've played this game enough that I've gotten pretty familiar with how to track down the satchels, but as you saw there, even I sometimes blank out every now and then. Right, did I save? I just know that these things can be pretty finicky. Or... Oh! Okay. I guess triple check that I save? I'll get back to you in a sec. Oh, man. I keep jumping between the pause menu to try to set up items. But yeah, there was a sparkle there. Oh my god. Ugh. It has to be in the water. But it's a Basulin, of course it would be in the water. I can't... Basulin is just a sucky shiny. I can't tell which one's the shiny. I think it was that one. I think it was, because it's... I think his stripe was... Okay, yeah, it's generally more brightly colored than the other ones, so... Awesome! That's one more off the decks. And I don't... And let me double check my tracker, but... I don't even think it's been that many Basket Legion checks in the grand scheme of things. It just feels like forever because I'm jumping between so many different Pokemon. Yeah, it's like 1, 2, let's just say 3. 3... So, 92 recorded checks, which technically is a 42% odds. There we got it. I go back and check, but I'd rather just clear this out now, because I would not complain about 2 with how much of a pain these Pokemon are to catch. If I could get a Basculin and a Basket Legion, I would not complain. More so, I just want to make sure that there's no, like, second wave of alphas or something crazy like that. Is that the last one? Oh, speaking of, there's that second wave. Where are they? I think it's just normal Basket Legions, which they can be pretty aggressive from what I've seen. Like, yeah. Speaking of, I barely even. I already got one in my butt. I don't even remember if there's anything I need to do with Raichu. I think I got the fast styles and the strong styles taken care of, so I'll just knock you out the old-fashioned way. Yeah. It's kind of a shame that I did not have my button near the Twitch icon in the slightest. Yeah, I know you see me. Let me catch some of your friends before the items I set up go completely wasted. Yeah, okay. Let's tussle, buddy. Kind of funny that wasn't even the right one. Alright, where's the one that actually wants me dead? Speaking of wanting me dead, I don't know, I've watched the trailers, but I'm not sure if I've seen them close enough. Do the wild Pokemon try to attack you? To me, it looked like they still could, but I've been hearing a lot of people saying that they no longer try to murder you. Which, considering the tone of the game, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm just a little confused of how people seem convinced that it's impossible for it to be the case. Yet I haven't really seen any evidence that would really stir me away from the possibility of them still being aggressive. Right, as much as I would love to, like, go through all these while I'm here, I should make sure that I actually got the shiny before we do any progress, so I can properly save. Okay, at least it's more noticeable in this game than it was in frickin' X and Y. Yeah, like, I actually changed fish for Basulin in that game, and man, that's like, when people say Basulin is the worst shiny, they're definitely referring to specifically Pokemon X and Y. I mean, even here, it's not like cool. It's not an amazing shiny. It's just like you pull up the saturation filter. But at least it's noticeable in this game. I guess what made me... in regards to, like, attacking Pokemon, what made me convinced that they could still attack in this game was there was one scene in the park where there was a Mareep aggressively chasing the trainer. I don't recall if it actually did an attack or not, but it was definitely a wild Pokemon and it looked like it was chasing after the trainer. That's all I really remember about that scene. I guess we'll get a closer look at it later, but I just wanted to make sure that I actually recorded catching it. Yeah. And speaking of ZA, I got the urge to talk about the Switch 2 version of Legends ZA. It's kind of wild. Cause, like, it's not... I feel like Nintendo could be communicating it more, but there are... not every single Switch 2 edition of a Switch 1 game is going to have an upcharge. Some of them will be free. Best example I can think of is a performance update to Scarlet and Violet. That's going to be free. Mouse support being added to Game Builder Garage. That's going to be free. Yet, the one thing that seemed like it was... overall, it seemed like the ones that they were actually charging you to upgrade actually had additional... I hate to use the word content, but content gets the point across the most. Additional content added to it, like Kirby and Forgotten Land. You get a whole side campaign. That costs extra. Mario Party. That has like a whole bunch of things going on in the side mode. That's getting an extra charge. Tears of the Kingdom. both Zelda games have like some map features and other little shenanigans going on top of the performance increase. That's getting an upcharge. That update's getting a charge. The one exception that really, I wouldn't say bothers me, but makes me concerned. Oh, cool. I messed up catching one Riolu, and now they all want me dead. Fantastic. Okay, yeah, I guess I was so long-winded. You got where I was going, Spirit, before I even got there. But yeah, they're charging for Legends ZA, and yet all they've really shown for the Switch 2 release is a performance update. And if I'm gonna be blunt, it didn't even look like that crazy of a performance update. Like, I don't think it was quite PS5 to PS Pro bad, at least when they first showed it off. But you had to actually pay attention. From my experience, you had to actually pay attention to notice it. And even if it was noticeable, it's still kind of crazy that they're charging extra for it. At least if we go off what they established for everything else. It seems like the only reason they're charging more for it is because it's Pokemon. And they don't do it with Scarlet and Violet because, one, it's no longer the latest Pokemon game once ZA comes out. Two, Scarlet and Violet were such a performance mess that the internet would not forget. The internet would give everyone such a hard time if they did charge for a Scarlet and Violet update. But yeah, even if I have a Switch 2, by then I'm going to just go for the Switch 1 version because I don't feel like the upgrade is worth it. Part of me is just like, maybe there is some content in the Switch 2 version of Legends ZA and they just haven't revealed it yet. But then the condescending part of me is like, well, okay, Mr. Smart Guy, why didn't they reveal it? Surely they know that if anyone's not gonna care, if any community of AAA game, or if any of the big three is gonna care more about content than performance, you would think it would be the Nintendo fans. Yeah, but yet they were kind of convinced that improvements were enough to sell Nintendo fans on the Switch 2 version of ZA. Which, I mean, Pokemon fans, the biggest thing Pokemon fans had to struggle with ever since they've gone off 3D is performance, so I guess there's a little bit of merit there, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird to talk about because I don't even know if I'm gonna get CA at all at this point. I haven't really seen... If you couldn't tell from the fact that I'm still playing this game all these years later, I am kind of drawn to the gameplay loop of ZA. I'm not really convinced... I meant the gameplay loop of Legends Arceus. I'm not really convinced that a lot of those elements that draw me to this game are going to be in that game yet. If there's any buy upgrade, if there is, then you're going to buy the upgrade later. That's what you're doing in Room Factory, because that's another one that has no known upgrade other than potentially performance. Fair. That's a valid way to handle it, and I think that's the way you should handle it. It's just as a general rule, if the thing you don't want, if you don't find something worthwhile enough to actually buy it, or pay for an upgrade for it, then don't. It really be that simple sometimes. Okay, so we're done with all that there. Typically I would just jump right in and try to get another mass out break with Pokemon that I need, but I think, well, first thing I gotta do is stock up on Mud, because that's like the one resource that I actually use regularly that I don't have. I probably don't even need to do this, though, considering I have, like, so much money in this game that I could just buy all the sticky globs I want. But I don't know, half the fun of the game is getting the resources. And part of the reason I became so rich in this game was because I took the time to just forge the items instead of just buying them out flat out. And I guess the other thing I need to do is check out those freaking ape-palm trees. And I don't know was even actually closer not too long. Which of these ways closer? I'm gonna just fly from here because this way, it feels like this way, I have, if I go this way, I have to run into the ape-palm trees before finding the satchels. So as far as I can tell, less room to get distracted and forget about the reason that I'm actually still here. I see. Well, best of luck with all that. Yeah, I knew. I'm still kind of baffled over the fact that we actually found the shiny Basulin today. I've been going on. I'll be honest with how short I was expecting to stream tonight. I was not expecting to actually find a shiny Pokemon, let alone one of the ones I'm actually looking for. In a sense, I forget the last time I got a shiny, so I could have been overdue. It feels like I've had a couple playsessions with no shiny Pokemon in general, but the odds of it actually being one of the ones we're looking for, and from the Basulin line of all things. Wild. Yeah, like, I still don't get why they didn't bother to, like, make all the trees around Ape-Palm Hills, at the very least, have the potential for Ape-Palms to come out of them. You could have just thrown me a bone and done that game. Here, I'm not gonna get over this. I gotta show you what I mean. First, let's go to the save screen to look how many hours of playtime I have in this game. Yes, that's over 300. Now let's look at Ape-Palm in the field research. Number of times left out of the tree, 6. Number of times I need to do that in order to fully master that task, 15. Granted, there's plenty of other things I do besides come to the Coastlands, but considering how badly I was hunting for the Basulin, I come here quite a bit of the times in my hunts. I'm trying to call back to the honey trees with the limits. Yeah, but the thing is, there's so many trees in this game, and they all can have Pokemon pop out of them. You could have... I still see them by. They could have made more than 2 trees in the entire game have Ape-Palm pop out of them. If not more trees in this area, then at least a couple trees in, like, the Icelands and other places that Ape-Palms pop out in. I'm in a weird camp where, like, I enjoy this game on its own merits, and the nostalgia... Gen 4 is not really some of my it's not some of my favorite games, so the nostalgic callbacks don't really hit me as hard as they do other people. I was actually got kind of... Fair, you're just trying to logic it out. And that's fair. What was I going on about? Oh. I guess while I'm completely distracted from what I was just talking about, this could be a good time to actually get a better look at our new shiny. And the thing is, we're all in agreement that we gotta take this to the water in order to get a photo of checking it out, right? I probably could have done it on land, but because I said that and because we're already here, let's get it out. Hi. Oh, I forgot. Things look incredibly ugly in the water. They like become JPEGs. Well, get a screenshot here, then take this back to land, where hopefully it won't look as bad of a PNG. Like, I feel like I could like make a more clean PNG in Photoshop. I like this game so much I forget that the few occasions where the visuals don't hold up. I get too distracted by how the visuals are in Scarlet and Violet. Sorry. See, much better. It's a shame because it would be nice to have a family tree with Ride Basulin and Shiny Basulin, but what you gonna do? I think it's still kind of funny that if you press B, you get the sad emote, the no response, and if you press A in front of the Pokemon, you get a happy yes response. You literally talk to your own Pokemon. I wonder how many people even take the time to actually notice that little detail. Alright, now I think I've exhausted everything that we can do here. So, get another save in because it doesn't hurt. Right, I should probably put Basulin away. Fair. It took me a while to notice that myself. Like, definitely not until I beat Bolo and probably put at least several dozen hours into this game before I picked up on that detail myself. Yeah, I've been so distracted I haven't really even been doing much with the Pokedex, but whatever. Got the shiny Basulin, or the Basulin. So that's a huge accomplishment in of itself. I forgot to get a screenshot before closing out the tracker. Well, I got my phone out. Let's see if we got anything else to work with. So what is even left? Big things. Apparently, more than I thought. I still need Stantler, I still need Cypher, I still need Quillfish, and I still need Petalil or Lilligant. Just 5 Hissui Pokemon left. And none of them I think can really pop up in the Icelands. You know what? For the sake of avoiding soft reset, let's go here. Because technically, I have shiny Avalok. I don't have shiny Birdmite. I still think it's kind of wild I got Birdmite before Avalok. So I guess while we're here, I might as well check and see if we have a burn mite outbreak at the very least. If that's the case, then it's worth going through here for the content. Oh, and it sparkles, which probably means I'll find another shiny Avalok instead of the Vermite, but go for it. Best case scenario ends up being an alpha on the second wave. Now I'm hyping things up way too much, so it's not going to happen, but getting 2 shinies in one stream, I can't remember, but I don't think it would have been first. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be the first time in a play session that I've gotten 2 shinies in this game. It feels rare for me compared to other people shiny hunt in this game, but it's definitely not impossible, especially with how the odds are in this game compared to other ones. Speaking of shinies, that kind of reminds me of a video I was watching where people do full odds hunts in this way, and they do full odds hunts for shiny Pokemon in this game. And I bring it up because I think the way they do it is kind of funny, because literally everything you do progresses research, which progresses the odds of finding a shiny Pokemon. So, long story short, how you get to do full odds hunts in this game is like you get through the game with as little progress as possible, get Vanish, and then just make your save file there for the rest of the game for the end of time, because you can't make research progress while you're vanished. So you just stay vanished from Jewel Like City. And then you're free to do full odd shiny hunts. I just find that there's just a funny little humor to that. Maybe I just find it funny because of the way it was presented, but still. I mean, I kind of wonder if I should make a Vanish save file myself. But I play this game infrequently enough that I don't need to make it harder on myself to find shiny Pokemon to get enjoyment out of shiny hunting Pokemon. But there is something funny about the concept that makes me want to try it. Yeah, I'm definitely being lazy tonight. Like, I'm not even bothering. I almost never use sticky globs unless I'm lazy. Or if I just really want the thrill of dodging Pokemon. Either way, like, I usually take the time, and that's why now I gotta run away and hide in a little hidey hole until my death meter goes down. Definitely sounds interesting, but definitely not do yourself. You don't do Nuzlocke. Same. I think, like, all my time playing Pokemon, I've only attempted a Nuzlocke once. And I've not touched format since. That's not entirely true, because I don't play Nuzlocks. But technically I do play Pokemon Emerald Rogue on normal difficulty, which is not exactly a Nuzlocke, but kind of close in the fact that if your Pokemon faints, you lose it. It's just that there's a certain event that might allow you to get the Pokemon back. It's not treated as them dying, it's treated more like you've released them. Yeah. Not even alphas. So I'm kind of hoping that these actually aren't shinies, because as you can see, already in my radar. Oh, cool. I think I've attracted the alpha to the party as well. Just what I need. You're not even an Avalog? About Mr. Obama Snow, can you please go back home? Please? You don't see anything? You see nothing? Cool, he sees me. I guess I can fight a couple. Cool. We got a full house. DJ Obama Snow. Ruining everyone's fun. But all I would love to do is take advantage of your quad weakness and get some grinding in with my bullet punching. But I've taken over half health before the battle has even begun. Well, I know it's weak because it's a priority move, but oof. Mr. Obama Snow's the one's ruining all the fun, so I should just get out of the picture first. Here you go, Mr. Obama Snow. As much as I would love to, like, get the bonus money for actually catching you, I'm also rich as hell. I don't need any sort of worth that you would bring to the equation. Screw it. If I knock it out, fine. If I don't, then I'll just catch it then. And with that, I think I'm out a good Pokemon that can defend themselves against an Avalugg. Great. That's the downside of just, like, bringing out miscellaneous Pokemon for research. I try to keep one or two of my main team Pokemon, even though those research tasks were done ages ago, just to assure that I don't get completely bodied during the grind. But sometimes, as you can see, that's not enough. Oh, my starter? Cyndaquil. Like, Cyndaquil's always been in my top faves. So, that was an easy no-brainer for me, personally. I will admit, though, it was a really solid selection of starters that they had for Legends. And nice. I just love what they did with Cyndaquil in this game, because I love the Cyndaquil line, but there's always was something about Typhlosion that just was like, But I actually like what they did with Hissui and Typhlosion. It just has that ghostly vibe that I think just works. Plus, the dual typing makes it a lot more interesting than it was in its normal form. But I think I like all the starters and their evolutions in this game. It makes me kind of curious if they're gonna do anything in this game, or I mean in ZA. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that if they do actually have regionals or megas to spare, that they haven't even teased anything yet. I forget if they gave us a release. No, I think they've only given us a release year for Legend ZA. But that was technically like second, third. I think technically the third presents. But if I feel like wanting to count the Pokemon Day presentation and the Switch 2 presentation as one direct, because they each felt like half a direct. Or the Switch 2 kind of felt more like as a compliment to the Pokemon Direct rather than a flat-out brand new Direct. And even more than that, I guess you could say that ZA was... the very first trailer was a teaser rather than actually anything of note. And hey, Elscore. Welcome. I'm doing alright. A little bit tired because I got streaming quite a bit late. But I was caught up in other projects at the time, so no regrets with doing the stream late. In fact, like I was kind of willing on not doing a stream at all, but I got an urge to play the game, and I figured that I would just play the game without worrying about commentating. So I might as well just stream, but it kind of worked out. With everyone that's here, it kind of worked out to be more of a normal casual stream rather than a casual commentary casual stream. So all's well that ends well, I'd say. Also, you missed me catching a shiny Basulin, so that's another one of the shiny Hissui Pokemon off the checklist. I'm down to like 5 more. And technically, none of the ones I'm still looking for are here, but I did see, but this was like the only massive outbreak going on in the area. So I figured I'd just check the bird mite outbreaks real quick and see if I got anything. And thanks. There's nothing else I really want to do here. Of course it finds me. Of course the Pokemon spots me right before I hit the map button. Yeah, they're a pain between how easy they flee, how they always spawn right in the middle of water mass outbreaks, so you have to use Basulin and deal with those controls. It took forever for me to get used to them. And I think like there's like 3 things that kind of make it easier on me. 1, if you don't already have self sprays, use them. They're your friend. They pretty much give you all the benefits of doing the sneak without actually doing the sneak. And they work on the surface of water too. So you can sneak up on, you can just swim around on Basulin and they won't hear you. In combination with just spamming smoke bombs, they can't see or hear you unless you like miss throwing the Pokeball or are right on top of them. So those are the things that help me, so maybe they'll help you someday. Now, I'm not sure how I can help with the aiming, because that is kind of the pain. I do all my gameplay with gyro controls, so I've just gotten used to the feel of them over time. Yeah. Of course, every time I want to warp away, I get spot. I'm gonna check on the Alpha Gardevoir while I'm here. Oh, right, it's probably not gonna appear because they have the Pachiri's shoes. Where are... Oh, there they are. Look at the shiny. I need to see them leap out of trees. You see what I mean? Like, there's only... I've made more progress with Pachiri's jumping out of trees rather than Apom. You know what? I just want to get the Basulin out here so I can show it off real quick, even if this is probably the most unfitting area for it. We'll put it by the fire so it stays warm and not think about any other implications. And what, man, I sort of get, but I sort of don't get why Basulin has such an underwhelming shiny. Like, on one hand, I get that, like, the whole gimmick is that the main difference between its color variations is the single stripe on it. But on the other hand, the only difference between the variations of it is the color of its stripe. So the whole fish body is free game for a shiny form. Oh, Basulin, when it's fully evolved. You're probably right. I forget exactly what it looked like, but I do recall the shiny form of his evolution being better than the Basulin. I'm not sure how many times I've said Basulin instead of Basculation and vice versa, but I mean, I was specifically talking about this form. Because I have the whole story of chain fishing for Basulin just to try out what chain fishing is like, and the whole mess. And being severely disappointed with how it looked on the 3DS. Anyways, let's get you back in organized boxes. I guess I'll also resting while I'm thinking of it. And you know, once I finish cleaning out the box, I'm tempted to take a break to refill my water and that sort of stuff. We'll see how I feel once I actually take care of this, though. Female Basulins are purple, males are yellow. Based off looking off Cerebeat. Nice. I would say I'm conflicted about whether to evolve this one up to see that, or keep it normal in case I get a second one. But it takes a bit of work to evolve a Basculation anyways. Like, you pretty much have to grind out recoil damage, and it's not exactly how I want to spend my evening. But I am tempted to do it anyways. So the good news is that the bad news is that we didn't get a shiny Burmite. The good news is that we didn't get a second shiny Avalugg. Like, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, of course. But I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm acting like I would actually be disappointed if I found second shiny Avalugg. It would be funny for one, and two, it's a nice shiny. I just expressing my priorities. I guess there might still be Quillfish here. While I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna take the restroom break before I get too much into it. Because I guess at this point we might as well go for a full stream. So let me just find my BRB icon. And I'll see you all back in a little bit. have a fun story. I almost didn't do this stream because my Switch was dead. No, nothing that scary. When I say dead, I mean the battery ran out. Because apparently it wasn't sitting in the dock correctly. So it was running, it was on and running. Even though it wasn't connected to the dock. So I go through all the loops and boot up this. Go put the Switch in the dock or set up the Switch to actually start streaming. Knows that's not working, and then I look at the Switch and see that it has no battery life. In fact, like, you can see right now, it still doesn't have a lot of battery life. But it has enough for it to recognize that it's plugged in, so we're good. Yeah. I think I spared people a lot already of the soft resets, so I've earned a soft reset as a treat. Anything? Oh yeah, the Switch. Glad it's not as bad as when you don't with the OLED was dying overnight. That sounds unfortunate. But yeah, I guess I lost my train of thought because there wasn't really that much more to elaborate. Like, Switch was completely drained of battery because it wasn't sitting in the dock correctly. I put it in the dock, but thought I wasn't gonna be able to do a live stream because I thought I would have to have at least like 5% battery life or so before it would start registering. But no, it took like only like 1% or something, so stuff that I would have normally stepped away to take care of before starting to stream anyways was enough of a side quest to buy enough time for my Switch to have the battery life it needed to do the thing. Alright. Nope. But you know, with all the time I spend complaining about the APOMs, I guess I'll just quickly check the APOM trees before I do another soft reset. And it's also, maybe I'll hunt around for static encounter shinies. It's been a while since I... Oh! Oh dear. Oh dear. We actually got a second shiny today. Wow. Glad I didn't reset. It's a Combi and it's an alpha. The problem is I didn't catch if it was a male or female. I think it's a male. Oh well, I mean, an alpha. It's still just randomly stumbling upon an alpha shiny. It is still kind of cool. I think I wanted in the... Well, hi there, Bleezel. Yeah, that's definitely male. Still cool. Pretty sure that might be my first shiny Combi, and it ended up being an alpha. And it was just a normal encounter randomly in the wild. Like, it wasn't even a static alpha, it was just a random wild Pokemon that not only had the odds to be shiny, but was randomly chosen to be a random alpha. That's pretty cool. I don't want to backtrack all the way here just to check on some trees, so let me check on the trees first. And I forget if it was this one or one of the other ones, but a tree close to 1 to 2 that I have marked. And it's not a palm. It's probably the other tree that's up the hill. Well, we can't win them all. Bye. All I need to do with Dust Tox is Poison Powder anyways, so... There's that. I love the fact that I'm technically in the middle of a massive mass outbreak, and I'm just completely ignoring all the mass outbreaks. And you know what would be nice to get a performance update? Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, it runs fairly good, especially compared to Scarlet and Violet. But the few things that are still like a PowerPoint presentation, I wouldn't mind a teensy little performance boost to make those things just all the bit better. To like make this a perfect game for me. Unfortunately, it'll never happen because Game Freak considered this game dead the moment Scarlet and Violet came out, and there's nothing I can do. I don't even know why I'm bothering to check the Togepi's. I guess because the few shinies that have gotten away from me was a shiny Toetic. Sorry, I'm not used to babies trying to murder me. So, I mean, like, if I did find a shiny Togepi, that would be a decent consolation prize. And I mean, and I'm definitely not resetting, not after getting that shiny Combi. I mean, I've gotten Finneon too, but... You know what, and I should check care of the Magmars. Not because I want a shiny Magmar, that's probably one of the last shinies I want in this game. But it does have the berries. Oh, I completely forgot I still have field research to do for it because I got distracted by the... Because I didn't need a shiny check for it anymore. Yeah, let me grab the Magmar. Or more specifically, the berries from the Magmar. And then we can check our new shiny, and maybe even have it play with the other shiny. Okay, I forget if Magmars are aggressive, but... If Magmars aren't aggressive, then Magmortar definitely is. So... Yeah, I mean, Magmar kind of gives off aggressive vibes. Shoot. That definitely is the sound of an aggressive Pokemon that wants my hide. Oh, cool. I know I can do poison moves, so I still wasn't expecting it to do a poison move. Frick. That's fine. Obliterating them also gives me the candy, so it's not like I'm missing out on that much. Wow. Maybe I spoke too soon. Well, maybe I can get some strong style hits in before they inevitably obliterate me. The nice part about massive mass outbreaks, they work out great for grinding Raichu. Because specifically with Raichu, I need to do Thunder a bazillion times, and so much more manageable and delightful to do Thunder a bazillion times when it's guaranteed to hit every single time. So shoutouts to mass outbreaks always happening in the rain, except for the Icelands because it wouldn't make sense if it rained instead of snowed. We never really got a lore implication of why mass outbreaks happen, the more I think about it. It's kind of like because we wanted to introduce the gameplay element. And they just rolled with it from there. Not gonna complain, this feature alone has probably added the most life into this game for me. Like, I probably spent more time in these mass outbreaks than I have in any other element of the game. Alright. I could probably get away with catching you in a great ball. Kind of funny. I've gotten a shiny of every single one of the Magmar lines, and definitely didn't go on my way to do so. Probably the most I've gone on my way is stuff like this, where I either do the Magmars because they have something else they want, or because they're along the way of a different Pokemon from a mass outbreak. Either way, I sure ran into those shinies. Hey, if I can only just fight one of you, I guess I'll settle for two. More importantly, I think the game forgot that I was poisoned, which is great because I feel like poison's the scariest stats condition to deal with in this game. Not for the Pokemon itself, of course, but when you get poisoned, because like if you're already low on health and you get poisoned, there is nothing you can do because you're not a Pokemon. You can't just use a healing item on yourself to get rid of it. And like as far as I can tell, there's no way to like stop the poison from killing you. Like if you get poisoned, you just gotta hope that it goes away before it drains all your health. Otherwise, you're just doomed to get knocked out. No. I should have just gone for the Ultra Ball. I don't know why I decided to be fancy with it. And of course there's still more, like the one Magmar that ran off, because I only got two. All good. And you probably picked a good time to go. I say you probably picked a good time to go because I was on break. Something cool did happen while you were gone, assuming you just got back. But I'll show it off when we get back to camp. I was gonna do that either way. I didn't find any Pokemon I was looking for in this outbreak, so I was just flying to check on the Apom while I was thinking about it. Just check the trees for the Apoms while I was in the area. And you'll never guess what I found just flying to the Apom trees. Where is it? Not just a shiny Combi, a shiny Alpha Combi. Unfortunately, it's male. But I think just randomly stumbling upon a shiny Alpha in of itself is pretty cool. And I'm trying to think, like, I wonder if this is my first shiny Alpha that was not either a static Alpha or from a mass outbreak. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the more I think about it, I guess we can take a look while I'm pulling out the other shiny to get them both on screen at once. I'm pretty sure this is my first shiny Alpha from a non-static or mass outbreak encounter. Because I got this. This is a fun story because that was just, I literally stood in front of I just stood in front of where it encountered using the mass outbreak trick and soft resetted for it. Turn off my switch for the day. And then literally as I pulled it back, when I pulled up Legends Arceus for the day, then, and only then, at the very start of my play session for the day, it was shiny. And it's weird. I thought this was my first shiny Alpha, but I guess no. This would be my first shiny Alpha. For some reason I thought I got this second, but this was an Napoleon I got from a mass outbreak. And I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure those are my only shiny Alphas out of all the shiny Pokemon and all this time I put it into the game. So if that's the case, then this would be my first shiny Alpha that was not, I wouldn't say full odds because I probably have research maxed out for it, but that didn't have any means to increase the odds besides perhaps Pokedex. Oh yeah, the shiny nose pass. I completely forgot about that. But that was also from a mass outbreak. So yeah, that would be my first one just hanging out in the field. Unless this Tentacruel counts. Maybe, I forget if this was the static Alpha Tentacruel or... But it was still, I don't know if it was, I think it would still count because I was just randomly flying around when I came across it. I mean, as nice as this trip back down memory lane was, I feel like I just only devalued the Combi for me by doing so. But it is still a cool looking Pokemon. And the fact that we got both of these today is enough to make me happy in of itself. I like to... Seekit still has the voice clip from being an alpha, even though it doesn't have the glowing red eyes. So that's neat. Alright, we're at an hour and a half. I feel like I've drained all my luck for the night. But we still have time to keep going, and there are still Pokemon I want to get. So why not? Well, shoutouts to Ignis finally getting up to level 100. I wonder if I want to get any new Pokemon to research out for the heck of it. Feels like I'm not really taking a lot of time to use poison powder, so I think I'm gonna box the Duxtox for a bit. Surely there's something else here. I think this is only there because I want to evolve it, not because I need to get it for the Pokedex. I already got electric type, otherwise roll time would be fine. What do I still have to do with Machamp anyways? And there's definitely way more Pokemon than these. There's just only room for one box, so I don't really get to think about it every single time. What do I still need to do with Machamp? Well, I guess I could always just pull out the Pokedex and check. Oh, that's right, I gotta do the honors of marking off our new shiny Pokemon in the Pokedex. Where are you? Basulin. Basulin. And you know, I like how I can appreciate the gold highlights in this photo in particular. I just wish that they would stop being cowards and give it a different body color. Like what they did with the green is nice and all, but a completely different color for the body would be so amazing. Oh shoot, I forgot the whole reason I was in the Pokedex in the first place. Let's see, Machamp. Yeah, there's stuff I can do with Machamp. Need to bulk up, need to use close combat, need to use strong style moves. I have to actually interact with them in the wild. See, that's what I mean. I usually just set up. And I'm pretty sure with Abomasnow, it's just use Woodhammer, so I'm not gonna bother looking up in the Pokedex. If I'm playing for that much longer, then maybe I'll look it up in the Pokedex later. Oh shoot, I almost transferred all my Pokemon. No check marks there. Okay, we should be good to go. Alright. Still 17 every single time. I swear I'm not doing it on purpose, but I don't see how it could accidentally happen that many times. Alright, let me see if I can get... Let's see, about 140. So I should have time for at least one more massive mass outbreak. Probably by the time I actually get one of the ones I actually want. That'll do it for tonight. I mean, I would like to go for Petalil or Stantler, or go anywhere else besides the Coastlands, but if it's the only thing here, I might as well at least check for Quillfish before resetting. I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way for the Apom tree this time. We'll chalk it. We'll chalk that up to chance. I do have some unfinished business with Totetic, though. Fine. And I might as well check on the Basulin while I'm here. It'd feel like a waste of a massive mass outbreak if I didn't at least go after a set of Hissui Pokemon. Plus, it would be freaking hilarious if I somehow got 2 in one recording session and an alpha. Hold on. Almost forgot to unmute the mic. Okay. The problem with this is that you can't see where you're throwing. You just gotta look to the reticle and pray. How do you not see me? Well, I guess you weren't the aggressive one. And I made this look so easy last time. Shoot. Alright, that's gone for real. I should check on the Apom trees. But I guess I could do that later. First, we got some unfinished business with a little floating fairy type. I think the problem was I saw the shiny, but I couldn't see the shiny because they were all the same color. And then for some reason I couldn't just reset. Either because I saved too late or they're just so undistinguishable from each other that I could never find the one that was actually shiny before they just flew away. Something like that. I should probably throw up a smoke bomb because this is definitely a 2-waver. Oh, it's just Toetic. I mean, while I'm here, I might as well finish the wave up. Alright, until Toetics actually fight. You know, this is gonna go poorly, but maybe this is a prime opportunity to bullet punch. I'm totally not gonna just get obliterated. Oh wait, this is not Choke, this is Machamp. Bullet punch is not the option that it's not an option I need to do. Cool, bye, Machamp. You know, I might as well just bulk up until you go down, because there's no point in really swapping just to get obliterated. Now, hopefully I can just get Raichu in here and Thunder Sweep, and all will be good. And as much as I want to keep going, oh, excuse me, I just realized how late it is. It's like already 10:30. I haven't even gave my Snorlax dinner yet and sleep. So maybe this will be the last outbreak of the night, even though we didn't actually get a Pokemon I was hunting for. Wait, did the game just lag on that capture for like an entire minute? Or was that just my imagination? Oh well. Oof. I just noticed how brutal it is to be a person and get hit by an air slash. That's it though, huh? And it's not like there's really anything else in this outbreak that I really want to do. But yeah, I should probably quickly check the Apom trees while I'm here. And I'm conflicted between getting to bed, ending the stream now so I can actually manage the stream before going to bed, and going a little bit longer so I can actually get a mass outbreak of a Pokemon I'm hunting for. I do acknowledge the greed that I'm having though, just you know, I've got 2 shiny Pokemon in under 2 hours. One of them being one of the ones I'm actually looking for, and another being just a random but alpha hanging out in the distance. That is more than enough to let me be content for the night, I will concede. But I do still have those other shinies to hunt for. Oh hey! Reloot on Twitch. Welcome. The bad news is that you kind of caught me near the end of my goals. The good news is that I've decided that I'll go for at least a little bit longer. So you'll probably have time to see me hunt for at least one more massive mass outbreak. First I gotta like get set up to get the ones that I'm looking for. Save in case I want a soft reset, because with how late it's being, I definitely don't want to get sidetracked if I'm gonna keep playing. it's gonna be for an outbreak with the thing that I'm looking for. Of course, there's nothing here. So how's your day? My day's been kind of nice. It's going on a bit later than I expecting, but I did get started streaming much later than I was planning. But with the things I was doing this evening, not liking really regret. You know, I keep talking about how I haven't even taken care of my Pokemon and Pokemon Sleep. I guess while I'm waiting for all these screens and that, there's no harm in like pulling up Pokemon Sleep, if only to like tap my Pokemon and go through all the unnecessary animations with Snorlax powering up and getting more ingredients so I can actually make the meals I want tonight. Yeah, I got so distracted between playing Pokemon Emerald Rogue and then working on one of my game projects that I actually got sneaky snacks, for those that know that you know. But like, point is, like, I left Pokemon Sleep alone for so long that the Pokemon were getting berries by themselves, which probably means I missed out on some ingredients or berries. So I'm making up for lost time now. Oh, this is a new one. My brain was so on autopilot that I almost forgot that I haven't checked to see if Quillfish was here yet. I just been to Coastlands so many times this stream that they're all starting to blur together. And yeah, nothing of note this time. Yeah, I kind of need to do a count by the time this is all done of just how many times I've gone to the Coastlands in this play session compared to any other area, because it feels like I think I've been to the Coastlands, the Icelands, and that's it. Because at this point, most of the shiny Pokemon that I'm looking for are in every other area, like the Fieldlands, the areas where Petalil and Rowlet spawn, and that's mostly it. Like, it's still worth checking the Coastlands because I think Quillfish can appear in them. But that's it. That's all. That's all that's really in the Coastlands in my quest to get a shiny of each of the Hissui Pokemon. And that time is learning nothing. I'm not sure how much patience I have for soft resetting, though. I might just end the stream off in one or two more resets if it really comes down to it. I guess, if nothing else, I have no excuse not to check up on Pokemon Sleep. Ugh, of course. Don't have enough to make the cornbread, despite spending literally all day. I bet if I checked on Sleep sooner in the afternoon, so it wouldn't do the sneaky snack, then that wouldn't be the case, but screw it. It's like almost 11 anyways. I'm not gonna have enough time to get that. I might as well just like make a tart or something. A little bit of a shame. Doing so good, I even had enough to make a actual meal not too long ago. Wow, that time there's literally nothing. I don't even know if I want to put on ingredients in. I should, because I know. You know what? Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll just save all of it for that. There's room in your pot for 35 more ingredients. You want to fill it with random ingredients? Nope. I left it blank for a reason, game. Just give me my consolation prize of a meal, and I'll sort it out tomorrow. I guess I used up all my luck in this game. Really? I guess I'll reset until I get a mass outbreak. And if the Pokemon I'm looking for is not in said mass outbreak, then I'm calling it a night. Nothing personal, but like, I've had a pretty good play session. Got a shiny Basulin earlier on the stream, and like the last thing and not too long ago, I got a shiny Alpha Combi just from flying around the area. I got no room to complain. In fact, maybe this will be the last one. I forget how long it takes to quote-unquote soft reset in this game. I keep calling it soft reset, but I'm pretty sure it's just a hard reset. I'm pretty sure literally closing out of the game and opening it back out is literally the definition of a hard reset. I just call it soft reset because there is no technical soft reset in Pokemon Legends Arceus. And this is why I still don't have all the Hissui shinies despite putting over 300 hours into the game, because eventually I get sick of the soft resets and just play the game even if the Pokemon I'm looking for aren't there. Alright, I've decided this is the last time. Because at this rate, I'm not even gonna have time to monitor the stream. I'll have to do that tomorrow. Okay, finally, Mirelands. I think this is the first time we're going there in this entire 2 hours. But will the Pokemon that we're looking for be there? For some reason, my gut's telling me no. Nothing. I'll check some outbreaks while I'm cleaning up the satchels, just so there's something of worthy entertainment happening in the ending of this stream. But I don't even think I'm gonna bother to catch all the Pokemon in this stream. I'm just prioritizing the satchels, and if a shiny Pokemon wants to just show up along the way, then so be it. Like, I've got plenty of Swine-ups already. Alright, right behind the tree. Oh, of course, you follow. Was it close combat? Oh, what am I doing? I need to do strong style moves because that's what I need for the research for this guy. Come on, Yama, aren't we friends? I just want the satchel here. Don't have means to cause any monkey business. Or dragonfly business in this case, I suppose. I guess we're just flying by to see if there's anything in note. I was gonna say, surely that's not all the satchels, but instead of going around, I might as well just check on the Badoos, cause no harm in getting more berries. Oh! I just flew right into the face of that Carvine. Honestly, I probably should have suffered more consequences for my actions than I did, but I sure won't complain about it. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Can you all just stay in the Pokeball? Oh, of course, the Rosalia. Can't have to pop up and essentially ruin my combo. You know what? I don't feel like fighting you. Get globbed. I was gonna say get sticky glob, but that sounded even worse. Alright, tempted to check on the Scroobies while I'm here. It's probably the thing I'm most interested out of. It's out of the way of the satchels, but out of any Pokemon that's actually showing up here, it's probably the thing I'm most interested in. It's like, I think it was either Scrooby or Stunky that got away from me because they freaking murdered me while I was trying to catch them back in the early days of playing the game. So definitely less experienced then than I am now. I say as I don't even bother to like put up this sneaky stuff. I still kind of have my doubts of if they can see me through the flowers, so I'm not crouching. Or I know if I miss, they'll definitely see me. Was that really all of them? Nope. Thankfully, it seems to be not just you. Now is that the last of them? Yeah. Two more satchels. Two satchels and a drink. Well, I'm not sure if that was a recent message, Aron, but glad you had fun here. Like, I'm having fun too. That's part of the reason why I'm still going. I'm just a little self-conscious because usually I like to look over the streams as soon as I finish them so I don't procrastinate it, and also because I'm not partner affiliate on Twitch. So if I do want to archive it as a highlight, I have like only a week to do so, which can easily get by you when you work. When you usually work 5 of the 7 days of a week. So there's a lot of incentive for me to normally do like post-production as soon as the stream is over. But I think if I skip that tonight, then that's fine. That reminds me, the other thing I usually like to do is, with the YouTube VOD, set up like timestamps for the navigation. So like, you can skip past the setup quicker if you're watching as a VOD, or if there's, for whatever reason, one particular outbreak that I enjoy that you need to want to see. Have I really never fought Arvin? Or Admin? Oh, I guess I did you. Is there any other Pokemon I want to check? Fine, I guess the Bronzors are right here. I don't know how I missed them. But there they are. It sure is a Bronzor and a Bronzong. And none of them are, and it sure is the fact that none of them are shiny. You know, yeah. It's almost 11. I've been going for 2 hours. I'm good with calling it a night. So, thank you all for tuning in. This is probably the point where I talk about when I stream, but it's kind of been a little shaky. It's late. Typically, this average is every other Saturday around 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I think if I was able to do this today, then I could probably do a stream next week. I've just been a little conflicted of what the next quote-unquote stream series is gonna be. But maybe by the next time 2 weeks has gone by, I'll have made up my mind if I want to live stream the old games I've made, or do that as a separate recording. Beyond that, like Pokemon XG started up on the YouTube channel, so if you want to see more fun Pokemon stuff, I've been starting to post game with that. XG, for anyone not in the know, specifically is a ROM hack of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which is pseudo hard mode, pseudo a modern gen, like one of those mods that add modern gen features. But it's also got a lot of cool features, like new Shadow Pokemon and new Shadow Pokemon moves. And they've done some interesting stuff for the post-game, I'll leave it at that. If you're curious, like the first couple episodes of the post-game are already up, so you can use that as a reference. Likely ban evader restricted. Cool. I love that even Twitch knows when the bots come in now. And it's still up to me to go for the trouble of banning them. Cool. Cool. Goodbye, follow bot. Now I gotta mess around with OBS to actually... You know what, I'm ending the stream anyways. Why am I bothering to get my nav? Why am I messing around with this stuff? Alright. For real now. Take care.